Hello, this is Haiku going through the Murders at Karlov Manor card set review, going through the white commons this time. And so, again, I'm going to be focused on their effect on the historic Pauper and Explorer Pauper metas on Arena. If you guys are interested in playing with these cards and kind of in a lower power environment, see the Discord below. Fun times. All right, so getting started with the first white common, Auspicious Arrival. A pretty good combat trick with a cantrip attached to it. It's reasonable. Unfortunately, I don't think it's quite there for constructed playability. Just needs to be a little bit higher power level to be played in constructed. The Fenestrated Phantom. This is another one of the expensive disguise cards. This is not playable in constructed, unfortunately. Due Diligence. A lot of power in one card, but unfortunately not enough for constructed playability. Griffknot Tracker. We finally have a little bit more graveyard hate. Taking out two cards from a graveyard is pretty good, but not quite playable. I think the 4 mana and the is going to be too high of a cost to just be exiling cards from a graveyard, even though we sorely need this in Explorer. Hazda Vigilante, another pretty cool card. I think all the kind of colors got a 5 mana that did things on ETB and attack. So they're all pretty kind of good in limited, but in constructed, I don't think they're going to be quite there. Inside Source, a cool bounce target, giving you tokens, but unfortunately, we just got a better one in Hopeful Visual, giving you a 2/2 token with Vigilance, and I don't think this ability is really that good either. So unfortunately, this card is probably not going to make it. Just going to outcompete it with other things that do similar stuff. Make Your Move, a very flexible card. I think it can see some play in the sideboards of some decks, but overall, it's not going to be any kind of meta-shaking kind of card. Makeshift Binding, on the other hand, is pretty good. So we don't have Journey to Nowhere on Arena, so we have to make do with kind of worse options, but this is the best of those worse options. Getting to exile a creature and gaining a little bit of life. And I think this card is going to be really relevant in the upcoming meta because it's going to be pretty good against the ooze decks. So basically being able to gain some life, exile a ooze, and then you can actually bounce it and then exile another ooze right away. So that's kind of nice. Market Watch Phantom. A solid creature for limited play, but not going to make it in constructed. Museum Night Watch, another kind of cool disguise card. Unfortunately, not constructed playable. Novice Inspector. This is constructed playable. Obviously, we've had Throbbing Inspector before. Very solid card. Now getting copies 5 through 8, I think most decks that play Throbbing are going to want this effect in copies 5 through 8. The creature typing still human, so that hasn't changed. Detective is not really a big difference. Throbbing Inspector was a soldier, so that actually did have some synergies. But even that, I think this is going to see play as a 4 of in all the decks that already have 4 Throbbins. I think if you want 4 of that effect, you probably want the full 8 of that effect, and you probably would play even more of that. Just solid. We don't have any sweepers on Arena that deal with 2 toughness creatures, so it demands more mana invested into it to clear it, which is always a great place to be. And then attached with card advantage is always great. So very solid card. The investigate token, the clue token, really helps with a lot of artifact synergies, stuff that needs improvise, all of that stuff really feeds into it. This would have been my favorite card of the set to help out Mardu but I don't think Mardu is going to be that much played anymore with the slime card. I'll just call it out. So I think the meta is going to shift a lot where this card might be, not be viable just because the meta is going to be enough faster that we can't be paying 1 mana for a 1/2 and get some value later on. Seasoned Consultant, just kind of a aggro card. I don't think it's playable. On the Job, not playable. It's always nice that these inspired charge effects have a little bit of additional value, but I don't think that kind of deck wants the value to be a clue token. You generally want to be ending the game with your overrun or your inspired charge effect. So those are the commons. Again, just to call out the couple awesome cards. Obviously, Novice Inspector is going to be great, and then Makeshift Bonding is going to be interesting in this meta. I think so. Those two are going to be seeing play, and then the other ones that I mentioned, some occasional play in the appropriate decks, but I don't think much of the other cards are going to see much play. All right, those are the white cards. Enjoy slinging some spells, and see you for the next one, next color.